another somebody done somebody wrong song.
Welcome to Phil's Tracks. This is episode number 162. You know, this is your podcast home for fresh takes on classic tracks, classic takes on fresh tracks, and here's what's ahead. Genre blender, B.J. Thomas. That's our main track. In our side track, we're going to talk a little bit about K-tel Records. Of course, we end this episode with an up track. Back in the late 60s and 70s, the music we heard was dictated by a highly segmented group of radio stations and record labels. They controlled the sound that was available through the airwaves, and of course, through the air. That's how we picked up the music we listened to. There were hundreds of AM stations dedicated to popular music or country music or adult contemporary, aka easy listening. And there were a handful of stations dedicated to Christian music. And they played the music in their genre. Only a select number of songs and artists were able to enjoy success on all of those different types of stations. And one of those artists, well, was B.J. Thomas. Only B.J. Thomas's most ardent album-buying fans would get exposed to all of his hit songs. And I'm a testament. I consider myself a B.J. Thomas fan. But in preparation for this episode, I came across some songs, some hit songs that even I wasn't familiar with. Over a decade and a half, B.J. Thomas had a treasure chest, a massive treasure chest of charting songs that included number one songs on the pop charts, the country charts, the adult contemporary charts. He even had a Grammy award-winning album on the Christian music charts. That was back in 1976. That album, Home Where I Belong, became the first gospel album to go platinum. Sold over 1 million copies. What was his formula? His formula was simple. He recorded songs written by some of the best songwriters of all time and showcased his sound. It was warm, smooth, controlled, seemingly effortless. It was a little country, not too much, a little pop, not too much. A B.J. Thomas song, even if it was addressing a painful topic, like loneliness, it just felt right. Well, enough of the pitter-patter. Let's get to the meat of the matter and check out some select songs from the genre blender, B.J. Thomas.
The midnight train is winding low, and I'm so lonesome I could cry.
I'm so lonesome I could cry. That was written and recorded by Hank Williams back in 1949. In addition to B.J. Thomas, it was later recorded by, check this out, NFL quarterback Terry Bradshaw. This song by B.J. Thomas was released in 1966, and it was his first charting single. B.J. Thomas, Billy Joe Thomas, was born August the 7th in 1942 in Oklahoma. He grew up in the Houston area, passed away back in 2021 at the age of 78 from lung cancer. He was touring through 2020. B.J. Thomas was a singer, not a singer-songwriter, like Frank Sinatra, like Elvis Presley. And Mark James wrote Suspicious Minds for Elvis. And this B.J. Thomas hit, released in 1968, called The Eyes of a New York Woman.
Where my woman waits for me, arms that hold me tenderly, lips as sweet as honeycomb, love that waits for me alone, deep in the eyes of a New York woman.
That clip you heard, that was the 1974 remake of Hooked on a Feeling, as performed by Blue Swede. B.J. Thomas's 1969 version had that iconic opening using an electric sitar.
I can't stop this feeling deep inside of me. Girl, you just don't realize what you do to me.
That, of course, was an instrument that was made famous by the Beatles.
I just can't help believing when she smiles up soft and gentle with a trace of misty morning and a promise of tomorrow in her eyes.
From the year 1970. I just can't help believing. This was one of apparently Elvis's favorite songs. The song was written by the legendary songwriting team of Barry Mann and Cynthia Weil. You know, they wrote You've Lost That Love and Feeling. That was by the Righteous Brothers, and We Got to Get Out of This Place by the Animals. B.J. Thomas's formula: take songs penned by some of the greatest songwriters of all time. Well, you got to put Burt Bacharach and Hal David on that list, don't you think? They penned songs that B.J. Thomas turned into hits. One was the iconic song for the movie Butch Cassidy and the Sundance Kid. Of course, that's Raindrops Keep Falling on My Head.
Raindrops are falling on my head, and just like the guy whose feet are too big for his bed, nothing seems to fit. Those raindrops are falling on my head, they keep falling.
And the other, it was called Everybody's Out of Town.
Where have the people gone? Seems like there's no one hanging on. Look through the windows, the houses are empty. Hey, everybody's out of town.
You're listening to Phil's Tracks, episode number 162. Our main track for this episode is Genre Bender, Genre Blender, B.J. Thomas. 1970. Hey, it was a good year for B.J. Thomas, including this song called Most of All.
I'm at the railroad station in St. Paul. How are all the folks? I'd love to see 'em. But girl, I'd love to see you most of all.
You're listening to episode number 162 of Phil's Tracks. Thanks for listening. We're going to get back to our main track, the genre bending, genre blending B.J. Thomas. And Long Ago Tomorrow is yet another hit penned by the team of Burt Bacharach and Hal David.
And maybe my life will always be just as happy as it seems. Long ago tomorrow.
Oh, this is country. This is country. This song was originally a hit for Lynn Anderson in 1970 before B.J. Thomas. Turned it into a crossover hit in 1971. You know these lyrics. Here we go. A little bit of love is what? It's better than no love. Even a bad love is better than no love. And any kind of love is better than no love at all.
Oh, now I believe that a little bit of love is better than no love. Even a bad love is better than no love. And even a sad love is better than no love at all. Got to believe that a little bit of love is better than no love. Even a bad love is better than no love. And any kind of love is better than no love at all.
It is sidetrack segment time. A topic somehow related to the main track. Of course, we're talking about B.J. Thomas. In the mid-1970s, K-tel Records was a thing. They had mastered the compilation album business, putting multiple artists and songs on the one album. I own some of those albums. In fact, I talked about one in episode number 10 of Phil's Tracks. K-tel offered him a deal. They would put out an album of his re-recorded greatest hits called The Best of B.J. Thomas. Now that was good news for him because he got paid. He got an album released with the promotional dollars of a marketing giant that was K-tel Records. The other news is because these were re-recorded, because it was less expensive than K-tel licensing the original masters from the record labels. But the re-recordings were low budget and the sound was substandard compared to the originals. Now, discerning ears could tell the difference. But the budget buying consumers just didn't seem to care. Why? They could get B.J. Thomas's top hits for $2 to $4 less by buying the K-tel version versus the one put out by the original record labels. Let's get back to our main track. I got to tell you, I really dig this song. It is one of my most liked songs. It's called Rock and Roll Lullaby. It captures the endearing bond between a mother and her child, especially when that mother is still a child.
So we grew up together, my mama, child, and me. Now things were bad and she was scared, but whenever I would cry, she'd calm my fears and dry my tears with a rock and roll lullaby.
1976, he released Home Where I Belong. This is the title track off of that Grammy Award-winning album.
But if they say that I would have to choose between the two, I'd go home. Going home where I belong.
So I don't know if you were thinking the same thing I was, and that was, hey, I'm missing a song. Like, hey, won't you play another somebody done, somebody wrong song? And you're absolutely right. And I was in the final stages of editing and I realized, hey, I'm missing a song. Well, it turns out this song originally was going to be excluded from this episode until I discovered the error. And I did discover that this song was excluded from many of the B.J. Thomas Greatest Hits albums. In fact, it was glaringly admitted. Now, I don't know why. I'm going to speculate. This song was recorded by ABC Records or on the ABC Records label, and it might have been that they didn't want to release the song to another label or they demanded too much money. But if you look at many of B.J. Thomas's greatest hits albums, this song isn't there, but it is here. From 1975, a number one hit. And the song that Casey Kasem always referred to as the song with the longest title of any of the other songs. I don't know if that's true or not, but what's true, here is the song. Hey, won't you play another somebody done somebody wrong song?
It's lonely out tonight, and the feeling just got right for a brand new love song. Somebody done somebody wrong song.
There you have it, another episode of Phil's Tracks. Really appreciate you listening. And by the way, check out philyale.com. That's PHILYALE.com. That's my webpage. Got all kinds of additional information about the different programs I've put together, including one called Trippin' Up. This is with longtime on-air personality Trip Rogers. and it's a pop music trivia challenge. You can find that on YouTube. Check out the Phil Yale channel on YouTube. And we're going to end this episode with our up track. It's a track that can put a little lift to our day, a little swing in our sway, a little pep in our step. It's got a good gospel sound to it. And it's our up track for this episode of Phil's Tracks. Thanks again for listening. From B.J. Thomas in 1972, here is Mighty Clouds of Joy.
Will vanish in the wind when the mighty clouds of joy come rolling in.